Barbie Enrico, and I'm here to welcome you to Pitch Tips Zoomcast, and where venture capitalist Fred Haney gives feedback to CEOs of startup companies to help them raise capital. Fred is an experienced venture capital fund manager, angel investor, entrepreneur, founder of Monday Plus, and author of The Fundable Startup, one of the best-selling books about startup companies getting funded. So let's find out what Fred has to say to today's CEO.
Hi, and welcome to the Pitch Tips Zoomcast. I'm your host, Fred Haney, and our goal here is to help a budding entrepreneur improve her chances of getting her project funded. And you get to be a fly on the wall while a venture capitalist, that would be me, reviews a presentation from an entrepreneur trying to get some funding, or in this case, just even trying to get a next meeting. My background is that I've been involved in the venture capital business and angel investing for lots of years, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. I've been involved with hundreds of startups. I've been the co-founder of 6. I've been involved with about 60 different exits. That experience puts me in a situation where I just hardly ever see a situation in a startup company that I haven't seen before. Let's welcome our CEO for today, Mika Lea. Mika is the CEO of Goomi Group, and we're here to try and help Mika tighten up her pitch deck a bit. Mika, good morning. Thank you for participating with us.
Good morning, Fred. Thanks for having me.
So just imagine yourself in the office of a venture capitalist as Mika presents her pitch, and the idea is here to learn from the dynamics. I'll do everything I can to help. I'm not talking about strategy so much as we are just sort of focusing the message and making sure that the message has impact and it's getting through the optimal way that we want it to. Mika, tell us a little just about your personal background and how you got involved in this project.
Yeah, so I was an advertising executive for about 17 years, and I'd always been an athlete, loved fitness and wellness. I would teach cycle classes before working on the weekends. It was kind of a health nut. I ate right, I exercised, and I found myself 3 weeks after my 33rd birthday being wheeled into emergency heart surgery. And I had what they call the widowmaker. So I came out of surgery. I now have 5 heart stents. And that experience really catapulted me into wanting to start my own company. So I had the epiphany that life is short and we should all do what we love. And I loved helping others get healthy and happy. So I decided to start Goomi Group to help others make health and wellness accessible and affordable for everybody.
Your reference to widowmaker makes me think of something in a different context. I have a second home at Lake Arrowhead, and across the street there are a couple Coulter pine cone trees. Coulter pine cone is a thing about this big, and they're pretty heavy, and they are referred to as a widowmaker.
Oh!
Because if one falls on your head, your wife's a widow.
Yeah, exactly.
So great background, and I see your enthusiasm for the project and understand your reasons for being so motivated. So give us your elevator speech version of what Goomi Group is about.
So Goomi Group is a corporate wellness concierge company. So what we do is we bring fitness and wellness sessions directly to employees in the corporate space, whether that's at work or at their desk or at home. We contract with clients across the US, kind of like a talent agency. So they hire us, they tell us the day, the time, the session, and we match them with one of our instructors to teach the class.
So your customer is a person?
Our customer is actually the company themselves.
Okay. And explain how you're using the word concierge. What does that mean here?
So we customize every program for our clients and we hold their hands throughout the whole process. We also offer a lot of white glove services. So just like a concierge, you can tell them what restaurant you want or what massage place. They're going to give you the best of the best recommendations. And that's what we do with our instructors in our classes.
Great. So there's a theme to today's presentation, and let me just take a second and talk about it. Mika submitted two pitch decks to me. One that's very heavy on graphics. It's really lovely to look at. Lots of nice graphics. It's really well done. Lots of graphic arts work, but there are not many words there. So when I first saw it, even though she's just trying to get a meeting or a slot in our Monday Club presentations, I wasn't sure how to answer the question. I didn't have enough information about the business. So I went back and suggested that she prepare a version with some more bullets, a little more context, and more self-explanatory, if you will, which would be a pitch deck that you could email to somebody like me, and I could sort of read through it and I could get the idea. I had a pretty clear understanding of what the business was about. And I wanted to make a bit of a issue about this today, sort of a theme for today's Zoom meeting, because I'm seeing this happen more and more and more. I think a lot of people who prepare pitch decks are wanting to make heavier use of graphics. But sometimes, depending on how you're going to use the deck, you have to be careful that you're sending the right message. So if you're going to use your pitch deck as sort of a ticket or an application for a meeting with a venture capitalist, or in my case, a meeting with possibly to become a presenter at Monday Club, there has to be enough information there, enough content to convey the important, to answer the important questions. And you're not there to talk through every slide. So yeah, you have to be a little careful about how you're using a deck. If you're using a deck like an application for a meeting, then it has to be fairly self-explanatory. People may print it out, they may write notes on it, all kinds of things happen. But then once you get the meeting and once you're standing up in front of a group or meeting in front of a venture capital team, then it's perfectly fine to use slides that don't have a lot of words on them. I mean, even then, I think a few key words might help emblazon a message in somebody's brain. A headline can be a good idea. A headline can tell me what I should remember, what I should take away from the slide. So I've asked Mika to go through the bulleted version of her pitch deck, because that's what I'm used to seeing. But with the understanding that when if she actually makes a presentation, she might use a version that doesn't have all the bullets because she's there to explain. Mika, you want to comment on that? I mean, it probably seems like an exercise, but I hope you're understanding the different uses of a pitch deck.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that coming from the advertising side, I'm drawn to the creativeness. And so knowing that I'm going to talk over it, I want people to hear what I'm saying and have the message on the screen convey what I'm trying to say, and use it in some cases as just a pretty picture. But I understand that the bullets really get the point across. And even if while I'm talking, they'll still get the point across because people can focus on that and also hear what I say, or it reiterates what I say in the bullets.
The template on my website is fredhaney.com. If you go to the resources tab, there's a template there called How to Answer Investor Questions. It's a template that I've used with clients for years, and it's a bit of a compromise on this issue. It's bullets, it's bulletized. There's a little room for graphics, but the emphasis is more on the written text. It's a way, I think, of having one presentation. But more and more, I see companies wanting to have two, and I think that's fine. I mean, if you want to have one that you're going to use as an application for a meeting, and then another that you're going to use in the actual meeting. I have no objection to that. I think that works fine. So with that background, I think we're ready for Mika to go through her presentation, and we'll just kind of let her go through unless I feel like I have a question on a particular slide. We'll let her go through the whole presentation, and then we'll come back and have some discussion.
Wonderful. All right. So hello, everybody. My name is Mika Lea, and I am the CEO and founder of Goomi Group, a corporate wellness concierge company. After 17 years as an advertising executive, working 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on a normal day, I know how challenging it is to squeeze in self-care. It's why I taught my cycle classes and my yoga classes before work and on the weekends. However, I found myself being wheeled into emergency heart surgery 3 weeks after my 33rd birthday. And 5 heart stents and 4 procedures later, I have made it my mission to help others to be healthy and happy. And this is why I am so passionate about building Goomi Group into a multi-million-dollar company. Gumi is similar to a talent agency. So for example, Sony calls us up and requests yoga and meditation classes every week on Mondays and Wednesdays at 3 p.m. And we match them with the right instructor for that day and that time. We offer any type of fitness and wellness session that our clients want, and it's available anywhere in the US for on-site and globally for virtual clients. Any day of the week, any time of day. And our programs are menu driven with flat rates. So regardless of how many participants, our clients get a flat rate, and clients pick what they want, and Gumi delivers it, and it is all in real time. We began as an on-site fitness and wellness company, and when the pandemic hit, all of our clients pushed pause on their schedules, and we pivoted into the virtual space within 48 hours, getting 98% of our clients back on track with their wellness programs. We leveraged the videos of our virtual class recordings to build out an on-demand platform that launched in summer of 2020. Today, we offer a hybrid of solutions with over 500 instructors across every wellness discipline to over 300 clients globally. The problem in the wellness industry right now is that current wellness programs exist in silos. So as you can see here, Peloton focuses on fitness classes, master classes, educational pre-recorded videos. Headspace, Calm, they're all about meditation. Virgin Pulse is a platform-based program. So everybody's in these silos and few offer customizations. Somebody can't go to Peloton and say, I want a salsa class, and that's going to happen. They get what they get and they don't get upset. But so there's no customization available. And the truth be told is that participation averages about 10%, and there's very little data on engagement. So they don't know how many people are participating, how long they're participating for, which programs are of interest. Are people interested in yoga or meditation? The platform that we are building at Goomi Group is going to solve all of these problems and be a combination of fitness, education, meditation, and platform. So our solution is to build out a SaaS platform. We will truly be one vendor for various pillars, not just the pillars that we talked about with Peloton and Masterclass, with the fitness, the education, the mindfulness, but also a vendor that can offer on-site, live, on-demand classes, and in 6 pillars of health. So the 6 pillars of health are physical, mental, personal, nutritional, financial, and social. We will be the only company out there that is building all of that together in one place. That's not just a service-based company, but service plus SaaS. We are also going to be offering custom programs. So something for everybody. If somebody doesn't want fitness, they can choose meditation. If they don't want meditation, they can choose education. And our platform will also offer engagement metrics and analytics. So we will be making recommendations based on the trends that are happening within that specific company. So we're a B2B company currently, and we'll be able to offer a dashboard to the HR directors that are booking with us directly. One more thing I should note is that with the AI technology that our platform that will exist with our platform is not only will we have increased participation with that something for everyone, but it's also going to allow us to capture a larger audience to ideally double that 10% to about 20% to 30% engagement, which is way more than the industry standard. So a little bit about the platform. The purpose of the platform is really twofold. It will allow Gumi to transition our already very successful manual company to an automated enterprise company, automating both our client scheduling, our client analytics, and our onboarding process for quicker client acquisition. The second piece of that is that our clients will have one vendor platform that can offer everything their employees would want, from that physical fitness classes, meditation sessions, cooking demonstrations, educational seminars, and more with just a click of the button. Each client will receive a personal dashboard with real-time analytics of the registration and the participation numbers. They'll have feedback data to determine future offerings. They'll have turnkey book now features and easy copy-paste event reminder emails. And on top of all of that, shareable wellness content. So Gumi has already a proven product and a proven track record of steady growth year over year. And in 2001, we hit $500,000 in sales. We are confident we can continue doubling sales year over year and would like now to go further, faster. We realize the opportunity for exponential growth with the shift to becoming an enterprise company. Gumi has big company buy-in, and we retain more than 70% of our clients year over year with exceptional customer service. And here's some of the press that we've received. These are some of the press outlets that have run our story either in TV, in print, or online. We are targeting HR directors, insurance brokers, and insurance companies who are looking for turnkey, affordable solutions to increase retention, recruitment, productivity, morale, and engagement for their in-house and remote workforce. Our focus is really on the insurance brokers who are the liaisons between the HR directors and the insurance carriers. Each broker can make a minimum of 2 introductions for Goomi Group to new clients for us, whether that's the HR director or the insurance carrier, and up to as many as 100 new clients. And these are our current clients in each of these sectors. More than 80% of companies with 50+ employees offer some sort of wellness benefit. This industry is not a new industry. It has been around for a while, and we see our serviceable obtainable market as being 490 million. We do realize that this is obtainable. For example, in comparison, Virgin Pulse is one of the other leaders in the category, and they're doing over 500 million in revenue a year. Gumi is the only one that will be doing it all, taking a holistic approach to corporate wellness by offering custom hybrid solutions and a SaaS platform that is paired with on-site experiences. And as you can see, we have some of our local competition on here with Merino Wellness. We have some of our larger aspirational competition with Peloton, with Virgin Pulse, with Groker, who has actually received up to $22 million in funding to date. Calm is on here, Rejuve, Refresh, and Apple Fitness is the latest and greatest to this industry. So what's next for Goomi Group? Market research has demonstrated that our current clients are excited about the launch and will pay top dollar for analytics. We plan to leverage the excitement and our current client list to get us to market quickly. Prior to the pandemic, Gumi offered only on-site fitness and wellness programs to roughly about 250 clients located in 48 states in the US. During the pandemic, we pivoted so quickly to offer virtual classes to clients. Our client list actually grew as we began to service clients across the globe in Europe, Asia, Canada, South America, and Australia, to just name a few. Looking to the future, phase one of our platform will bring employees closer together by offering a myriad of classes and provide visibility into engagement for clients, allowing them to adjust the programs in real time based on attendance and registration numbers. Phase two of the platform will be direct to consumer. It'll be a direct to consumer holistic hub that individuals can continue even after leaving their sponsored company, or they can invite their family, their friends, their peers, their roommates into the hub. And this will be the official opening of a new vertical for Goomi Group, leading us into the B2C business model. We will keep the B2B with our HR directors, the companies, the insurance brokers, and the carriers, but we will be adding on this whole new dimension with the B2C. We plan to offer the pilot version to our current clients of over 300 clients and our newsletter list of over 1,000 people to be able to offer this tiered subscription model. So when we launch officially, we're going to be offering that pilot at a lower discount rate, but when we launch officially, the rates will increase, but the clients will already have all of their data into the platform, making it really sticky so that the clients don't want to leave. The direct-to-consumer subscription model will be available to those friends, family, and peers to join the community. And once, like I said before, once employees leave, they can actually take Goomi Group with them. Our third revenue stream will come from the rich data collection that will be leveraged from our insurance partners. So our goal is to grab that rich data collection on where people are engaging with the content, their fitness capabilities, and then leveraging that data to sell it to the insurance companies. Having hit $500,000 in sales last year, we plan to leverage our current client list and their excitement for the platform to get it to market quickly. Once we launch the platform, we anticipate an additional $6,375 in addition to what our clients are already spending. As the insurance brokers and the carriers add their clients into the system, we'll also have visibility into new clients, and so that's the affiliates channel for us. And then the next growth stage will come from partnering with apps like Fitbit, Apple Fitness Plus, MyFitnessPal. From there, we anticipate large growth by taking that platform into the B2C channel. 2001 are actual numbers that you see here on our 5-year projection, and projections are also a pretty conservative number. What's happening here is that we are, with the addition of the platform, our gross margins are going up. And then as we grow also into that B2C market with individual subscriptions, again, we're going to see larger numbers with the subscription model adding to those gross margins. Salaries and wages, we plan to add in a few new people as we grow into the different areas. And you can see our net income EBITDA increases year over year also. And we have an amazing woman-owned, we're a woman-owned, women-led leadership team, and we're now taking it to the next level with our CTO. Our backgrounds are combined of finance, of advertising, of marketing, and leadership and development, business development. And we have an amazing advisory board also that is helping us to scale quickly. So our advisory board has experience with startups, experience in taking companies public. We also have experience in building, big, huge companies such as Fandango and Ticketmaster, and then other experience with growing, scaling, and selling through acquisition. We've been completely bootstrapped to date, and our plan is to accelerate growth rapidly. Therefore, today we are seeking $1 million in investment for our seed round, which is purely a growth round. The offer is a convertible note. The minimum investment we're asking for is $50,000, and our runway, we're profitable already. We've always been profitable since the launch of Goomi Group, and we plan to remain that way. The use of funds. So the $1 million raise will be used specifically, a majority of it for that platform development. We will be putting some money in marketing, also for new talent, and research and development. So the marketing we're really excited about. We've never marketed ourselves to date, even with our doubling of sales revenue year over year. And the talent, we plan to bring on a full-time sales director that can oversee sales for the entire company. Gumi, our goal is to be acquired by 2026. And these are just some of the companies that we feel that would be interested in acquiring Goomi Group. Gumi is helping the world to be healthy and happy, and we hope that you will join us to do the same. Thank you for your time. I will take question and answers. Or comments, Fred, comments.
Okay, why don't you take the screen share off?
Okay.
Well, actually, leave it on for a second.
Okay.
Good job, Mika. It's a lot of good content there, and you're a good presenter. You did a nice job of that. And oh, by the way, I don't think I suffered from having the words there. I mean, I don't think they hurt anything. They may have helped a little, but that's for you guys to decide. Go back to slide 1 for a minute, if you will.
Yeah. This one?
Yeah, what I want to do is just do kind of a quick flip through the first couple slides. Hang on just a second. I'm going to make a note. Okay, next one. Next one. Next one. I'm kind of confirming my hypothesis here. Okay, well, you can take the screen share off. So good job. Like I said, a lot of good content there, a lot of good presentation. So one thing that's important to understand when somebody's hearing your presentation for the first time, and even though I've seen the slides, I'm kind of putting myself into a mindset of hearing it first time. You get one slide at a time. So you absorb that, you kind of tuck it away in your brain cells, and now you get the next slide. So sequence matters.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be always building on the information that you've provided before. So here's one thing, and you'll think I'm being petty, but there's an important point here. Suppose I tell you that I'm starting a new company, and my partner is going to be Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
You know who Tom Brady is?
Yes.
So what's your reaction to that?
That's amazing. Right?
Maybe.
If you're a Tom Brady fan, it would be amazing. If you're not a Tom Brady fan.
But what if what I'm doing is entering international chess championship?
Then I guess it doesn't matter.
Do you see the point I'm trying to make? I mean, that's a great name. He's a great guy, but whether he's an asset to what I'm doing or not depends on what I'm doing. So I think in general, it's better to wait and introduce your team after you've told me what you're doing. The question about the team and yourself is not, are you wonderful people? The question is, are you the right people to build this company at this time? And if I don't know what the company is yet, then it's hard. I don't know what to do with that information. I mean, in your case, I think there's a compromise. I think the way you say it is quite good. I mean, your background and your history and the way you got involved here is worth putting up front. But I would be careful that, and remember that when you're saying these things, the audience doesn't know what you're doing yet. You might want to move that slide down a little bit, or
Which one?
The one that talks about your background.
Oh, move it to later?
Well, or split it a little. You don't want to, if you say too much about yourself and the intricate details, I don't know what to do with that because I still don't know what your company is.
Okay.
There's a compromise. I'm not saying take yourself out of the, don't introduce yourself up front. I think that's fine. But I would do it judiciously and save some of your powder for later. So you can say, well, look, now I've told you the kind of company, here's why I'm the right person to be doing this.
Okay.
It's a contextual thing.
Okay.
So, and here's another, I'm going to sort of bundle some thoughts together here. As I go through those first 6 or 7 or 8 slides, my mind is a little muddled about what we're really doing here. Here's, and I don't know if I'm going to try and say an elevator speech, but I think here's what would help me sort things out. If you said, look, there are a lot of big companies on the planet who want to help provide exercise and fitness services to their employees, but they don't have a good way to do that.
Okay.
And we're providing a vehicle for those companies to coordinate and orchestrate a solution for their employees. Because the way that the language you're using, I'm confused between who's really the customer here. Who's really, who are we marketing to? Who are we solving a problem for? What problem is it that we're solving? I mean, the problem isn't that an individual employee has a hard time getting access to a Peloton. I mean, the problem you're solving is a big company problem of kind of coordinating and providing a human resources service for its employees, and that's not coming clear. I'm kind of muddied about that. And if you're going to use the word concierge, I would explain the analogy. The analogy is not obvious to me. I mean, you might take a second to do it. How do you think about that? What does the word concierge mean in your context?
Okay.
The reason I'm asking the question is I'm just telling you it's not adding information to me. It's puzzling me. To me, when you say concierge, I think of a man or a woman standing behind a podium in a hotel, waiting for me to ask what's the best restaurant.
And that is what we do. So we stand behind a podium and our clients come to us and say what's
your
the
clients.
best.
Who's your client?
Companies and organizations.
Okay,
or
so
HR
I think you need to explain that because your pictures show people on Pelotons and people in the gym, people doing exercises. So I think you need to untangle any confusion about who's the customer here. I mean, you've got people, but those people are dealing with their own company. They may be using your platform, but your customer, I think you want to make it very clear that your customer is the company.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And I wasn't getting that. I mean, that wasn't, and the problem you're solving is a problem that these big companies have trying to, I mean, I imagine what they're trying to do is sort of keep everybody from running off helter-skelter, doing their own thing. They're trying to coordinate it and make it easier and provide, I don't know, do they do on-site facilities and stuff like that so that it's more coordinated and more a cost saving. So maybe that's a good conversation. What is their motivation? What's their purpose? Are they trying to provide a service? Are they trying to reduce their cost? Are they trying to be more efficient with the way their employees use their time? How do they measure? How does your customer, the large company, measure the success of your product?
Okay.
So how do they? I mean, what are they looking for?
Attendance, engagement, product. So our HR people, if the success of a program is how many people have attended, and they're looking at employee retention, employee productivity, employees engagement.
See, that's almost got to be slide 1 or slide 2.
Okay. Yeah, really, I'll put that on a slide.
That's really the problem you're solving, and that's what you're going after.
Okay. Okay.
So, and again, the logical flow that I like to see is there's a great big problem out there in the world. Here's the problem that we see. And we have a solution to that problem. And now here's our solution. Here's what our solution is. See, you see the logic there? And now maybe, why am I the best person on the planet to be putting this company together? Well, it's because I have all this background in healthcare. I went through all this stuff. I've done that. I have hands-on experience. I'm aware of the problems. I know how to solve the problem. You see how the logic flows a little better there? Let's see. I think those things will help a lot. I mean, I think it again, the audience gets these things one slide at a time. I think the logic and the flow will be a little better if you come at it that way.
Okay.
You do talk about metrics and analytics. I would be specific. You know, what are some of the things that people want to measure, and because that ties back to what problem it is that they're trying to solve. Your notion of trying to get the participation up from 10% to 20% or something like that. Again, that ties back to the problem you're solving. I think it's important. I don't know if it's a slide by itself, but it's important to explain not just what's the problem, how are we solving it, and who are we solving it for, which is the big companies, but what are they looking for? How do they measure success? I mean, you've already addressed that, but how are they going to measure the outcome here? What are they looking for? Why do we think we can solve their problem in a measurable way that they'll be willing to pay for?
Okay.
I mean, another way to ask that question is, well, how big a problem is it? What's it? Is it costing them? Can they measure the problem they have today? You know, is their payroll 6% higher than it ought to be because people are driving 2 hours to the gym? I mean, you know, how do they measure the problem? And then that gives us metrics for how do we measure our solution.
Okay.
Um, oh, there's one slide. I think the heading is Goomi platform. It has a screenshot on it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't read the screenshot. So, I mean, that's an example of a picture that's just taken up space. I have no idea what the word, you know, they're tiny little, by the time they get to me, it's 2-point font. I can't begin to read it. So I think there's got to be a better way to describe what's going on
Okay.
there.
That's a screenshot of the actual platform.
Yeah, and it's fine. I mean, I think that's.
I don't know how to make it bigger on the screen and have the bullet point.
The other thing you could do is just use a few bullets to summarize what it actually does. I mean, what I would probably do with that slide is use the screenshot, but shrink it. Just use it as a thumbnail, and then describe what happens on the screen. So what can I do? I can schedule appointments. I can pick my trainer. I can pick my equipment. What are the kinds of things I can do? Because right now it's not communicating. It's not telling me anything.
Okay.
There's another slide talks about big company buy-in, and you list a bunch of logos.
Yeah, those are our clients.
And your words were that there's some 70% retention rate. What a great headline!
Okay.
Put that on the slide. You know, burn it into my brain. The retention rate is, well, that's your retention rate of customers, I guess. But that's good. That's a good number, you know. And then somebody's going to say, well, what happened to the 30%? You probably want to have an answer to that question. But the 70% retention rate, that seems like a great statistic. So I would make a headline. That's a good example of how you can use a headline to make clear that your audience gets the takeaway.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see, a slide, I don't know, it came quite a bit later. You talked about companies that have 50 plus employees. Is that your target?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's part of that earlier slide where you describe your customer. That should come way earlier and make it clear who your customer is. I'm not sure I got this quite right, but I think you mentioned a competitor that's doing 500 million in sales.
Yeah.
To some people, that would be a reason not to invest.
Why?
Somebody already owns the market. So
but it's a different market.
Well, then they're not a competitor.
Well,
there's
nobody yeah, so they're a competitor in that they're a wellness platform that clients will pay for. But right now we're being used in conjunction with Virgin Pulse. So
I think you just need to explain that carefully.
Okay, or just don't say it at all?
No, it's okay to say it. If what you're trying to say is, here's a slightly similar company that's doing 500 million in sales, and that just tells you how big this market is and what the potential is.
Okay.
But we're not competing directly against them. They're not really our competitor. They're just sort of an example of somebody who's working in this space and what the potential might be.
Okay.
But don't let somebody like me get the idea that they're a competitor, because if you're going up against a $500 million competitor, that scares me. I need to, that raises a whole different set of questions. You know, well, what makes you think you can compete against IBM? Or, you know, right. Okay. So you understand my point about the $500 million non-competitor. And yeah, and you do have a slide that shows the sort of compares your features to the other competitors. The question that's really being asked there is a complicated question, and it's not how do your features compare to the competition. The real question is, well, what's the basis for competition in this industry? Who are the vendors? How do they compete? How do buyers decide which vendor to work with? Is it based on price? Is it based on flexibility? Is it based on richness of features? You know, what are the real things that customers use to make their decision? And how do we intend to compete in that space? You know, what's our competitive strategy for positioning ourselves in that business? I mean, it's fine to show relative features and functions, but the real question is, how are we going to compete here? And what makes us think we can carve out a niche in this marketplace and own it? And I don't remember your TAM and TOM numbers, but it's important to show investors the market segment where you can capture 20, 30, 40% market share. If you're 2% market share or something like that, most investors know that companies like that have a very difficult time being profitable. Companies that are profitable are usually in the 20% plus market share range. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that your revenue forecast is too small. It may just mean that your market segmentation isn't narrow enough, you know, that you haven't defined it down specifically enough so that to define your served available market as one where you can capture a fairly significant share. I think you've done really well. I mean, and your presentation does make that pretty clear. The 200, you have 250 clients, I think. Is that the right number?
We have about 350 right now. We had 250 pre-pandemic.
When you start, oh, okay. Oh, before COVID. I would shine a light on that. You know, I mean, that's really a strong message. And then my only other comment really has to do with the valuation forecast and exit plans. I think it's good that you're addressing that. Investors want to know that you're willing to do some kind of an exit in a reasonable period of time. It's very difficult to predict how an exit might work, but you've listed some reasonable potential acquirers. I think that's a good thing. Whether the numbers are right or not, and whether they help you or hurt you, I'm not sure. They don't tie completely to another chart. I think you said $100 million valuation at 5 times revenue, but your revenue number for 2026 is like 26.9 million.
Yeah, I don't think I said anywhere what the valuation was. You might be.
I thought I saw $100 million number using.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I did have $100 million exit. Let me just make sure. Oh, okay. Growth plan. Yeah. I'll fix that.
Well, at a minimum, you want it to tie to the revenue number, but that raises some other questions. Maybe getting into valuations is a little tricky. I think it's okay if you've got a good basis for your logic, but it's kind of important not to look like you're telling venture capital investors how to value companies, because that's what they get paid to do. I mean, the other thing to say is, you know, you tell us what the exit valuation might be. I think it's okay that you're doing that. But it does raise a question, well, where did the 5X come from? Is there a basis for that? I mean, the way the investment bankers go about estimating exit valuations like that is they They do comps of all the, they get financial data for all the other companies in the space, and they look at multiples of revenue, multiples of EBITDA, price earnings, multiples, all that kind of stuff. So it kind of raises a question, well, how'd you come up with that? And the other question it raises, this might be not so much of a problem with angel investors, but if you were presenting to VCs, a $26 million fifth year revenue is probably not exciting. You know, it's probably not enough to get them excited. Angel investors, it's probably okay. I think, I mean, what's your thinking? Are you leaning more toward angels here for
Yeah,
super
angels. Yeah, for the seed round, I'd like super angels. That's what I'm looking at.
That's probably the right target. And
Okay.
with the people you've got involved, you could probably get access to Tech Coast Angels. We've had companies go from Monday Club and make connections with the Tech Coast Angels.
Okay.
So let's see, that would be my feedback. I think you've got a lot of good material there. I do think you can make the message a little more pointed by changing a few sequences and highlighting a few things. Do you have specific strategic kinds of things that you're concerned about that I might be able to help with?
So it sounds like I'll take off the valuation, and instead of saying estimated at 100 million and valuation based on 5x, so just take that out altogether and just say exit via acquisition. I think the only thing I don't have on here that is still waiting to be determined is my CAC and my LTV. I haven't calculated out those numbers, but no one's really asked just yet.
I don't know what a CAC is.
The customer acquisition cost.
Oh, okay, that I understand. Yeah, that will come up as a question, probably, and it's important to think that through. But you have experience. I mean, you know what your marketing costs have been over the last few years, and you know your number of customers, so you can do kind of a rough guesstimate that way, what it's been. Hopefully, you get more salespeople, sales and marketing people, and get more efficient. You'd like to see it trend down over the next few years.
Yeah. So I think I've got that, and it sounds like, you know, I guess the big thing is just kind of the reordering of the story to really talk about who we are and what we do first, and then talk about the problem, and then talk about the solution.
Well, I would get the problem pretty early on. I mean, the flow.
The problem first, solution.
There's this big problem out there. Here's the specific part of it that we think we can solve. Here's our solution. Here's how we know our solution works. and I should have said when I described the problem, here's the problem and here's who has the problem. I mean, the problem, I mean, again, I guess the way I would, based on my understanding, I would probably say something like, you know, big companies are spending, you know, have some inefficiency. I'm not going to say it very well, but big companies know they could do a better job of helping their employees get access to healthcare, exercise, kinds of information and processes. We have a way to help them solve that problem.
Okay.
I didn't say that quite right, but so what I combined there is, here's a problem. It's an efficiency problem. Here's who has the problem. It's the large corporations. And here's how we're going to help the large corporations solve that problem. You want to be careful not to have any confusion, not to let anybody think that your customer is the individual.
Right.
You need a distinction. Maybe you need two different words. You know, an employee of the customer corporation, as opposed to the corporation, which is in fact a customer.
Okay.
I would make it clear that there's no room to confuse those.
Okay. Other questions? I think that's it.
Well, that's good. I think we had a good back and forth. Hope that helps a little bit. Thank you so much for doing a pitch tips with us.
Thank you. Thanks, Fred.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, audience, for listening in. Be sure and check back. We're doing a pitch tips every week or two, and they're available on the Fundable Startup YouTube channel. Check in there, and also take a look at our relatively new website. We've combined several websites into fredhaney.com. And there's some resources there. My template, how to answer investor questions. It's a template for putting a pitch deck together. That's on there as a resource. Thanks, Mika. Good luck.